A very good morning and a very warm welcome to all the dear parents. It's an honor to have you all here. Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedules and sparing time for today's discussion. We all have gathered here on the occasion of Mental Health Awareness Day, and which is celebrated on 10th of October every year. This year's theme is pandemic and mental health awareness. So how pandemic has affected each and everyone's mental health awareness, mental health specifically, and how it has affected our children, what changes we see in their behaviors. There will be a lot of discussion on this. So I'll be introducing you to each other now. We have amongst us Dr. Tushar Gohil. He's a PhD from IIT Kanpur and he's a faculty at VNIT Nagpur. Thank you so much for joining, sir. We have Ramya Kanan. She's a psychologist and an engineer. She works as a freelance trainer and a counselor. Thank you so much for joining, ma'am. We have Lavanya Sridhar. She's a BTech Information Technology graduate and she's still studying, pursuing a diploma in interior designing. Thank you so much for joining, ma'am. We have Mr. Manoj Gopal Krishnan. He is a BTech mechanical engineer and he works as a manager in Ordnance Factory. Thank you so much for joining, sir. We have Dr. Anaga Markand. She is a general physician, consulting hemopath, and owner of Nakshatra Multispecialty Hospital. Thank you so much for joining, ma'am. We also have our principal, ma'am, Miss Lucky Sadrani. So let us begin with our discussion. I would like to start with Dr. Gohil. So, what changes has this lockdown and the pandemic brought in your life?
Okay, so I will start first from my professional life because I am basically a faculty. Okay, so last you can say 7 to 8 years I am teaching the student, but this pandemic completely changed the entire teaching methodology. You can say, okay. So previously we go with the blackboard teaching, but now everything is on online. Okay, so if we see from our side, then what we see that our effort is increased enormously. Okay, and that is not only that part that we are putting lots of effort, but what we are getting after putting that effort is also a lot way is change. Okay, because now no more in front of us any student is available. Okay, so we are not getting their reaction that what I'm actually teaching to them, because normally if I teach the BTech, then my strength is 130 or 140 students. Okay, so if you're in front of us, then just we see the eye contact, immediately we realize, okay, which kids is getting, which kids not getting. Okay, but when they are not in front of us, it's very hard to understand who are getting and who are not getting. So in that way we are facing lots of difficulties to understand that what we are giving them, they are getting it or not. Okay, so like that way our effort, we are not sometimes satisfied what we are putting is that student is getting or not. So that is what the lag in between the effort and our the gaining of the other side of the student. Okay, so that is what I see very big change as far as the, you can say, the family life is there due to the pandemic. Definitely previously we are going towards the college or the lab every day. Okay, now because we are sitting at the office, so also wife sees that much more burden, because always wife sees that, okay, the person is out, then they also feel relaxed. Now I'm always with them, so sometimes my unknowingly also I will try to put some type of control over there. Okay, so but then after I realize, okay, it's not good, because let them to do what they have to do. Okay, so that is large change I also see in even my behavior also. Okay, so that is pretty true.
Right, sir. Your struggle, I understand. We as teachers understand the struggle really well. So it has been a great change in the whole system, the whole education system that we are going through. Now that we did move a bit towards technology, I would like to ask Manoj, sir. What changes do you see in your children's behavior now that technology is so much involved in their lives?
Okay, very good morning. Actually, the changes is not affecting only the children. We are also experiencing the change. The major change we are experiencing now. That this meeting itself is an example. Actually, in earlier times, we have to travel a lot for attending a meeting like this. Now, today I am attending this from my comfort. This is a major change. And in case of children, there are, I think, there is positive as well as negative changes. Positive is that they can study from their home itself. That is a positive change, but they are losing some other aspects. They don't get the chance to mingle with their friends, and I think this is a major difference. I am thinking. Thank you.
Right, sir. So thank you for stating that there are a few positive changes also. But we can see in children that now they have been a bit more socially withdrawn. That now, even us as adults, when we go in crowds, there is some sort of anxiety that we are facing also. Like we are scared to go in crowds. So I would like to ask Lavanya ma'am, have you or your family members, especially your child, become socially withdrawn in public? Like, does he or do you avoid public places, not just as a precaution, but because somewhere we are not comfortable in the social group right now?
Yeah, I would like to throw some light on that. Like, I'm actually a homemaker, so full time I used to be busy with my like home doings, children. This was my life before, and the moment like when I thought like no, I actually have two children. One is Pugar, you are he's in your school, and the second one, younger one is no, he's a preterm baby and he was 3 years old. He's 4 years old right now. So I really dedicated my time until like 4 years. I didn't have my own interest or anything like that. I like gave my full time to my kids only. The moment when I decided, okay, he's 4 years now, I can think something for myself. This COVID like landed up, and I wanted to pursue myself, like my career. I wanted to do something for myself. So that thing was restricted. I wanted to go and join a college, and as you know, I'm currently doing my interiors. I couldn't do that. I couldn't. Rather, like it would have been a different experience if I could go out and mingle with other staff or students wherever. I could have got more opportunity to learn more things. So this COVID has no like. Put a what to say, it has become an obstacle in that way because I'm not getting that exposure. So my children are bit hyper. We can't like make them sit in one place. Ramya ma'am knows, she's my like both of our husbands work together, they are colleagues. So she know like my children, they can't sit in one place. But the moment like you see jumping from one door to one window to another like that. So it was really difficult for me to know like hold them in this closed enclosed place. What I feel is like Pugar, he generally loves to interact with like people. He's very talkative, very curious, always keeps on asking questions. But now his thing has totally changed. He's now more glued to TV screens, and his interest has slightly shifted. Yesterday we went for a birthday party. Even there, he was not interested to go and mix with like children and play there or enjoy the party. He was like, rather give me the phone, mama. I just want to play for a while. No, there is like sometimes even it is at our mistake that we just for our own personal time. Okay, you can have the screen time for yourself, but when there is no opportunity for them to send out, also, it has become. A little bit of, you can say, it has become a bane for us. No, achhe things ke liye, if you're using the things, it's really productive. But when you're going to use it, and I'm also getting addicted to screens actually. When I want to have my own me time, I'm not able to do that. I'm like instead of investing in some good artistry work or something, I'm just going and browsing through the Insta. It has become a habit, and I'm like trying to figure out like how I'm going to withdraw myself out of this. Even like I spoke to, Ramya ma'am is a psychologist too. I used to discuss with her, ma'am, what shall I do? She said like you just keep your phone away from your room in the nights when you feel like it's really bothering. But I'm not able to do that. It is so much into like I have become addicted to it in a way. So when my situation is like this, you can imagine about the kids. They can't understand. At least I understand that what I'm doing is wrong, but children they don't, right? So this period, no, it has really had a lot of toll on our mental health. I feel like somewhere or around like the social mixing and the creative part of our us is getting disturbed. Yeah, naturally.
Right, ma'am. So now that you talked on the topic of how addicted we are to phone, there's a feature in our phones known as digital well-being. I was shocked to see I spend 7 hours a day on internet. That's how it has affected our lives so much. Moving further, um, Dr. Markand, you being a healthcare worker and you have children at home, how have you managed your work life and your home life? How did you find a balance during this pandemic?
Balancing was really a difficult task this time because earlier it was very helpful for me because of the school. I was quite relaxed. I could do my work regularly. But now, as there were online classes, so my daughter, I would have to leave her at home itself. But she had her grandparents. So, like that way, I was very helpful because of them. But in other way, if you see, I was also very tense. Me and my husband both were working in the COVID wards, and we were having the patients. So after coming back home, we were taking precautions because elderly people were also there, and the children were also at home. So we had to be more careful, and in that way they helped me. We kept isolated as much as possible so that we don't infect them and we can do our work also properly. And to be frank, my daughter is also very cooperative. So she always support us in whatever way we do. I don't get much difficulty in managing home and hospitals. So that way I could do it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you for all the work that you and people like you are doing for us. We are blessed to have doctors like you.
Thank you.
We have also been joined right now by Mrs. Sarita Bhattacharya. She's a branch manager at IDP, and she counsels student who has aspirations to study abroad, and she's been working for more than 14 years. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. So, ma'am, coming to you now for the question, Mrs. Bhattacharya. Uh, you were also juggling work life and home life together, and you have been interacting with students for so many years. What strategies did you use to keep your children occupied in this pandemic?
Thank you so much for having me here. First thing, very good morning to all the panelists, to Principal Ma'am. Actually, this pandemic has taught not even us, but kids indirectly, a kind of bearing some unwanted changes in life, I think. And difficult time, it was a roller coaster for all of us. Uh, for me, juggling between work and the family life, I found that mental peace, inner strength, core strength, and a mental strength is more important. Sometimes physical strength is not that important. Mental strength is very important. So, COVID with digital things all around you, like as you said, we were spending a lot of time on mobile and over, digital things which were unknown. So, unconsciously, many such things were happening where students were just adapted to either watching TV or doing something over a phone and doing all the classes, be it a yoga class or a guitar class or any such extracurricular activities, also over a phone digitally. And that was not adaptive because then just they were just having their no hand-eye coordination. It was just looking at things, right? It was just taking the things in communication. So I made them do little outdoor work nearby, near garden, Gardening is one such good things. Habits, good habit of daily waking up early morning in the life, that helps. Doing some kind of devotion, whichever God you worship, that helps. And I think there are small habits that the parents have to inculcate in the parents, keeping him occupied in the household chores. It could be very simple things, and bringing them up with little disciplinary things because they were just concised at their place, or in the neighbors, right? So that is something I started doing with them, to have a little discipline, because earlier it was quite easy, right? Going to school, I knew that Podar is taking care of my what. They are coming back, they have homework to do, they have a play time, and then they have a dinner time. Now it was not that. They are all the time at the home. I was there all the time at the home. Everyone was getting irritated, but then we realized that we have to have a pace, again have a discipline, again follow it, but little different.
Right. So creating timetables did really help us and our children in this time, definitely. Ramya ma'am, I was saving the best question for you. Yes, you being a mental health worker and you are seeing the difficulties we as counselors, as mental health workers are facing. What strategies did you use to keep yourself calm? Because it is a thing that counselors don't need counseling, right? Which is definitely not true. So what strategies did you use to keep yourself and your family calm during this pandemic?
Thank you. Thank you for the question and thank you for having me here. Good morning, all. So firstly, COVID, yes, there are a lot of negative impacts to COVID, but personally for me, it was in a way positive because it brought a lot of opportunities, work opportunities. I always used to consider that, gadgets are not a way to have workshops, but I, warmed up to the idea that maybe I can use Google Meet or Skype to do workshops. So I started undertaking workshops for kids across the world. So there were students who were from Singapore, Chennai, Bangalore, Maharashtra joining us for workshops, which was great for me. And with respect to how do we manage, I think it's a struggle. And as you rightly pointed out, counselors are also human beings. So even sometimes we need therapy as well. So number one thing I would suggest is self-care. As parents, we're always behind our kids, ensuring that they are well, that sometimes we don't take care of our own selves. It's like the aeroplane announcements, right? Wear your mask first before you have to help the other person. So until you are happy and until you are at peace with your own selves, you really cannot be providing or helping another person, even your own kid. So I think take out time for your own self to do something that brings you joy and happiness is, I think, number one. Number two, differentiate your, have some rigid boundaries between your personal and your work environment, because right now we're all working from home. So initially I used to have issues where when I sit here for work, my kid used to just keep running and keep tugging me, saying, "Mama, come and play with me now," while I'm actually having 20 other students in front of me doing workshops. So that was a trick. So then we started saying that, okay, when mama sits here in this particular table, then nobody is supposed to touch, disturb me. So those kind of boundaries had to be set. So I started setting up one table for Pranavya, who comes to Podar to do her classes. And I also have a younger one. She goes to a nearby campus to spend some time with a teacher. So then we started allocating. So even right now, they know that, I have to do the session. So all of them are out. They were here 5 minutes before the session. So then, mama time, mama has got to work. So then everybody goes out. So that took a little bit of effort and, setting that boundary straight. And I think kids do adapt pretty much well. Once you lay down the foundation, once you lay down things like, this is how we are going to be doing as a family, as a society. So that's why I was all in for schools reopening, because, taking safety precautions, I think it's very, very important that we're all worried about them getting infected, but how much are we really paying attention to their mental health? What's going on inside? The age where they're supposed to be learning. So it's not just, they learn from teachers, they learn from their peers. When they see that the next student is doing something, they are also inclined and motivated to do the same thing. So then now we've just divided everything, we divided them and saying that you have to sit alone at home and do your homework. that's really not working out, that well. Even their learning is getting impacted because of that. It's just parents being behind them saying, you really have to finish it so that I can take a photo and put it in the WhatsApp group, right? So that peer learning, which is very important for kids, especially younger kids, is getting missed out of COVID. So uh, uh, regarding how we balance and how we manage, they miss out on touch. So for all the parents here and all the parents who are listening, kids need touch. Even adults need touch. So if you have kids at home, then hug them. Every day make it a point that when you wake up, you hug them. Before they go to sleep, you hug them. You hold their hand, you pat their back, you give them a kiss. Of course, you ask them before you do all of these things, but do incorporate touch, because when they are playing out, when they were in school, they used to touch, in a good way, right? So all of that is getting missed because of COVID. So ensure that you incorporate touch. And because we are also using a lot of gadgets, there should be some time when they are gadget free. So at my place, it's Sundays. So Sundays, nobody, including, like Lavanya was saying, it's very difficult for adults to get de-addicted from our own smartphones and smart TVs. So it's really important that we also take that time out. And when you are going to be maybe watching a movie or kids are watching something, ensure that that becomes a family activity. Even if you have to watch a movie, ensure that all of you, sit together. Maybe you eat something and then you watch it together. So it also becomes a quality time for the kids. In the future, maybe when they're watching a movie, they're always going to have this memory that, as kids, I used to sit with my parents to watch a movie. What better way to watch a movie other than that? So, and like, I definitely would agree with Mr. Gohil when he said, we miss out on that energy when we do it via, we are doing the best that we can with online education, but I think the energy that is transmitted within the class, from teacher to student or from student to student, that collective energy is getting missed, and we can only hope that we can bring it soon. And regarding the anxiety or how they have got socially withdrawn, I agree that, including my own kid, she has become socially withdrawn from, she's generally a shy kid. So it really takes a lot of her to actually interact with people, though she enjoys it. But lately I'm seeing that in the last 1.5 years or so, she's become, she's happy to meet her teachers online. But when I actually brought her to the school, she was overwhelmed about the prospect that she has to answer to teachers in person, which came as a shock to me, because she was very happy to talk to her teachers and Lucky ma'am over the laptop. But on the premises, she felt suddenly very anxious and too difficult to cope up with the situation. So even when we are going to, reopening the schools and bringing all the kids back to classrooms, I think it's going to be a challenge to, we are not going to be picking things up from where we left. Kids are going to need some time in acclimatizing themselves with the new situation, but I'm sure they're going to adapt well to it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Those were really, really useful inputs. And I think now we have something known as a pre-COVID life and a post-COVID life. So that post-COVID life is going to be definitely different than what pre-COVID was. And as adults, if we have taken so much time to adapt, I think kids will definitely need time. So coming to the last question, Principal Ma'am, as the parents have discussed, there are so many changes in the children. What changes you want to see in their behavior? Not the expectations from the children, definitely, but what do you feel as the head of an institution? What the positive changes you want to bring in the children?
Thank you for that question, ma'am. The positive changes which I expect from the children is now we all are used to with the situation. So that adaptability, as ma'am said, now they are into this, they know all the things. So when they will come to school, I expect that they should follow all the things which they have learned in this past 2 years. It will be for their safety as well, and for everyone. Like we have seen the COVID norms, keeping those things into mind and be ready for the future also, in case if again such type of things happens, they should be ready, they should be very much alert. We were not aware that such type of things can happen, and which has destroyed our life which has hampered our life, our daily life system, everything has changed. So now children are also aware such things can happen, and they are ready to accept that. So when they will be coming to school, definitely we are there as a leader, as a teacher. We are there to motivate them, and we will bring those changes into them. And I'm very sure that children will also accept this. They will also follow this, and they will be used to with this. We have to. We all adults, we have been into this. Children also, I have seen children. They come and they meet me. So I am observing that they are missing their school a lot. They are missing the activities, so many things. Yesterday, one child, she came and she just said, "Ma'am, if the situation gets normal, will we have annual day in the month of January?" So I could feel what children are actually missing. So there are many changes which I expect from children, and I'm very sure that they will bring those changes. We will train them. Now it will be our turn, and these challenges are there. We have faced this 1.5 year, and ahead also we are ready for that. School is 100% ready with the preparation, and definitely children will be adapting those things.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Rightly said. Now, last 1.5 years, parents have struggled. Parents have tried to bring in adaptive measures where children could adapt to the situation. Now, the situation is changing again. It is going to be a struggle. It is going to be difficult. And now, with the schools reopening, there are positive and negative sides where some students are happy with the situation that is, and they are happy with the gadgets. Some are really missing out on school. So overall, it is going to be a big change. Overall, it is going to be a lot of adaptability that we'll need. Uh, these were all the questions. Does anyone want to add anything? Any parent?
Yeah. Can I speak something?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, I work with the kids very closely. Okay, being a faculty also. Okay. So when the pandemic started, before my elder daughter was just starting the 10th. Okay, at that time. So, and I am basically a meditator. Okay. So I suggest every parents, if you able to cultivate this spirit in the kids, okay, then we need not to worry at all. Meditation, I am saying that it is going to be the game changer that will give you the full control over your own brain. Okay, why I'm saying, with my own experience with both the kids, I am telling you that if we cultivate the spirit of meditation as a altogether collective effort, we have to put it first. Okay, if I do meditation, by seeing me, my kids will do it. Okay, so first we have to start. If we say that only kids please do the meditation, kids will not follow you. Okay, if you put the kids to some classes and say, okay, let's learn them, it will not work that way. First you cultivate the meditation at a home, and if you able to do that, then I'm pretty sure kids will adapt it. Okay, and please believe me, everything in entire life is done by this brain. If your brain is under control, then need not to worry. Okay, it's very easy to come out of this any type of pandemic. It's just a matter of few days or few months. Okay, so I'm saying that if we want to really see the very drastic change in any of the kids, okay, then suggest that please adopt somehow any type of meditation technique. Along with that, always do one type of exercise, whatever you like. Everyday sweating is must. Okay, so when this pandemic started, we have a proper schedule for entire family. We all wake up at 4 o'clock. Everybody go together for running, all four of us. Everybody have to do the meditation all together. Okay, so I'm telling you, with this all spirit, we see a very drastic change in the scenario. Okay, definitely it is very difficult to adapt the meditation as a adult also. Okay, if I ask you, please switch off yourself for 5 minutes, it's hesitation. Okay, because I work with the online, I did the training for the others also, how to cultivate the meditation. But when we work with anybody, it's always say, sir, it's very difficult. If you ask me to run 5 kilometers, it's possible. If you ask me to sit for 15 minutes at one place but close the eyes, it's not possible. But that only bring a huge change. And last word, keep first away yourself from the gadget. How many times you are avoiding your WhatsApp? We are not able to avoid our own WhatsApp. Then how come our kids will able to avoid WhatsApp? Okay, so we have a habit, after 9 we all go on aeroplane mode. We don't worry about outer world. 9, exact 9, kids knows all 3 phone goes to aeroplane. My parent and my wife parents also know phone will not pick up after 9. Okay, so after 9 every day it's just a day off. That means, and every Sunday most of the time our none of the phone will pick up. Okay, everything is on aeroplane mode only. Okay, so cultivate that habit so that we disconnect from the gadget. By seeing us, our kids also going to disconnect by themselves. But when I discuss with couple of my own friends, they say my kids is not leaving any phone. I ask, are you able to leave your phone first? If you are saying that I am on the phone and kids on another phone, that is your problem, not kids problem. Okay, so I am also suggesting we also have to have some habit to switch off from outer world. And nowadays switch off from outer world, only one thing in your mobile, that aeroplane mode is given. It not only for the flight purpose, it is for the better purpose. When you reach home and no outer connection required, just place one single click over that and you are peacefully. Okay, so before you go to the bed, don't watch your mobile. At least 1 hour prior to that, switch off yourself, disconnect yourself, and your life will be peaceful. Okay, very easy to go with that way. Fine. So this is what I think it's very important to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Yes, Dr. Markan.
See, last 1.5 year was very difficult. Pandemic brought most of the changes in everyone's lives that were not very good. Rather, they were worst. We have seen worst situations in the last 1.5 year. But if we look at the other side, it has also imbibed many positive changes in ourselves. Like children have become much aware of the healthy habits, how to keep themselves protected, how to keep themselves away from infection, what to avoid, what not to do, so that we can keep ourselves healthy, keep ourselves away from any kind of infection. So I want to tell that even if in the school, if we start a habit, so children will get used to that kind of things. So they will also follow what is good for them. They will also follow that what we have to do, like regularly washing hands or keeping ourselves clean in every way possible. So if schools, they make some timetable or make a schedule for that, like children will get aware and children will get used to all that. So that will be better for the children and for the school as well. And parents will be very parents will be willing to send children in the school, so that nothing will happen to them. So I want that kind of changes if school can imbibe in themselves also.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, definitely. Yes, sir. Manoj, sir.
I think if we don't discuss about the role of the school, it will be incomplete. Actually, I can see the difference between the students of Podar International School and other students. This school helps our children to engage in their studies as well as other activities, especially their Sunday Funday activities. They were engaged, and keeping them engaged is one of the difficult phase most of the parents are facing. So the role of the school was also important, or is also important. They are still doing, and I should appreciate the entire team, including the principal ma'am, for giving such an support in this pandemic period. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's good to hear that our efforts are appreciated. Yes, Bhattacharya, ma'am.
Yes, I definitely agree to sir that it's a collaboration, right? It's a collaboration. It works in the personal life, it works in professional life, and it also work in kids' life. So school is a very important part of kids, and let us make it a collaboration both from parents' end and the school's end, and then have a very happy future for our kids. That's what.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because it's the eve of mental health awareness, right? So I would definitely recommend everybody to prioritize or give importance to not just the educational aspect of the kid, but also about their really the mental health. How are they being? Are they happy? Are they joyful? Are they feeling satisfied with all the activities that they're doing? If not, if you find that there is something amiss in their behavior, or something has changed, because we know our kids more than anybody else, right? So if you find that there's something amiss, or maybe the kid is sleeping too much, sleeping less, feeling more anxious than before, or withdrawn from general things, or things that were interesting to the kid is no more interesting to the kid. If you find changes like that, then definitely reach out to a professional is something that I would definitely say. If the kid has got a 1 or 2 fever, then we immediately rush them to a doctor, right? The same way, if there are some issues with their mental health, if you find some behavioral changes in them, then please do reach out to a professional.
Definitely, ma'am. That is a really good advice. Yes. Yes, Lavanya, ma'am.
Yeah, I too would like to add some, words here. As I told you, my son is no, like, it's a bit difficult to make him sit in one place or do other sort of activities like painting or anything. I actually made him join yoga also. Like, instructor used to come and like teach him, but he was not at all enjoying the process. He doesn't want to do that. Like, he says, "Mama, I don't want to." I thought like this will help him in cut shorting his hyperactivity or focus more on other things, but that was really not working. As Mr. Gohil said, like, before you ask something to do your children, it's you that you have to work. So he was also saying, "Mama, you too come," but due to personal circumstance or situation, I couldn't sit with him, when sir used to come and teach him. But I found out later, like, I made him join football, and he's really enjoying that. So what we need to understand is, like, we need to program things according to kids interest and their nature. So initially it was like pushing him daily morning, "Go beta, sit, do your yoga, it will help you." But instead, yoga is really, we all know, like, it helps to improve you both physically and mentally, but that wasn't working for my child. So I thought, like, why not to put him in things which he likes actually. So now he's really enjoying getting early in the 6 in the morning, packing his kit bag and going for the football, like, that suits his taste. So we need to work according to children's taste. That is most important. I think they should enjoy the process, whatever they are doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, all of the advices, all of your experiences, and everything, like, we have learned a lot from each other today, and you have spared so much of your valuable time. It has been indeed a good and healthy discussion, and this is going to benefit all the other people who listen to this also. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. It was a great experience for me. Thank you so much. We can end the
Thank you.
meeting.
Thank you all, dear
Thank you.
parents. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.